There's a simple lack of transparency so in many countries we don't know who owns the media, who owns journalism, how can we trust what they've got to say, who are they speaking for, are they speaking for independent forces? You know, in many places people regard ownership of media as a one-way ticket to political power. You know, if you've got political ambitions in many parts of the world, the first thing you do is set up a radio station or buy a newspaper. So I mean, how can people trust the news if they don't know who owns and if they don't know who the journalists are speaking for?
I think the only way you can do that, and of course, I mean, what you've outlined is as true in the UK as it is anywhere in the world. I think the only way they can do that is through the power of the readers, and that is to force the news organisations with which they engage, where they read the news, to be more transparent. And they can do that by either withdrawing their readership or, in fact, pressing regularly for either better regulation or better laws which reveal who the actual owners are.
Very much these days we see much more hands-on owner activity in the newsroom, and the editors-in-chief are very often becoming seen as merely glove puppets for owners and so on. So there's a big question.
There have been, you know, you were talking about News of the World and Rupert Murdoch. There have been stories and stories published and people talking, journalists, editors talking about Rupert Murdoch, you know, picking up the phone, calling them directly and asking them to, you know, write, sure, say this or don't say that. So there is an influence on the editorial policy, on the editorial practices by owners, such as, you know, sure, the very famous example that we have.
Thank you.